You ever have that funny moment when you're talking to someone, but it feels like you're dragging the entire conversation across the finish line, and the other person is just spiritually absent? They're nodding like, yeah, totally. But everything about them is screaming, please let me escape. Now let me tell you a secret that almost nobody talks about. Most people think they're good communicators. Spoiler, they're not. They accidentally sabotage nearly every conversation they step into, and they do it with the easiest mistakes in the world. And honestly, I used to be that person. I'd enter a room tense as a brick and leave feeling like a ghost no one remembered seeing. Like every word slipped right past people's ears. But here's the twist. Communication isn't what people think it is. It's not about being funny or having insane stories or saying clever things on command. Sure, those help, but they're not the foundation. Today, I'm going to give you the exact framework that transformed me from the guy people politely dodge at parties to the guy they follow around and actually want to talk to. By the end of this video, you'll know the one technique that makes people feel like talking to you was the highlight of their entire week. I'm saving that for last because it ties the whole puzzle together. The biggest mistake everyone makes. Let's start with the biggest conversational crime out there. When someone is talking to you, where is your attention? Most people assume they're listening. They're not. They're mentally rehearsing their next line. They're worrying about sounding smart. They're checking if they look awkward. Their brain is panicking. What do I say next? What do I say next? This is why conversations feel exhausting. You're not actually present. You're acting out a script inside your own head. And the wild part? The other person feels that. They can't explain why, but they shut down. They answer shorter. They look for a way out. Wait, let me prove it. Think about the last time someone made you feel not just heard, but understood, fully seen. How rare was that? How good did it feel? That person likely wasn't doing anything magical. They were simply present. Real listening means your attention isn't on your next response. It's on them. What are they actually saying? What's the emotion hiding underneath? When someone mentions where they went or what they did, they're not giving information. They're opening a door. Walk through it. My most embarrassing social moment. Let me expose myself for a second. Once at a friend's birthday party, someone asked how my week was. I said, pretty good, just working. They smiled and walked away. 10 seconds. That's how long I held their attention. Then I watched them talk to someone else for 20 minutes, laughing non-stop. And I just stood there, drink in hand, feeling like furniture. That's when it clicked. I wasn't boring, but I communicated like I was. Your body language is killing conversations. But here's the second twist. Listening alone isn't enough. Your body can betray you faster than your words. I learned this the hard way. I'd genuinely care about what someone was saying, but I'd stand like a stone statue. Arms crossed, face blank, zero signals. The other person would start trailing off because my body language was basically yelling, I don't care. Nonverbal communication is the proof you're listening. Nod when they say something meaningful. Lean in slightly when they share something personal. Make eye contact, not the horror movie kind, just enough to show presence. Let your face react. If they're excited, smile. If they're upset, soften. Match their emotional energy. Not to manipulate, but to respect. It shows, I'm right here with you in this moment. People open up to those who make them feel safe. Your body creates that safety. Why facts kill conversations? Use stories instead. Now let's talk about your turn to speak. This is where people crash and burn. Someone asks how your weekend was. You answer, good, went to the beach. Boom, conversation dead. Facts are connection killers. Stories are the currency of human interaction. If you can't tell a story, people forget you exist. You could literally be the coolest human on earth. But if you talk like a robot reading a weather report, nobody cares. Here's the difference. Bad version. I started making videos. Zero context. Zero emotion. Door slam shut. Now the better version. Last month I hit a breaking point. I'd spent years consuming content and absorbing ideas but never creating anything. Then one night I saw a video asking, if not now, when? And something snapped. But when I grabbed my camera, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. I felt like an imposter, but I hit record anyway. See? Context, emotion, internal conflict. That's what makes people lean in. People don't care what you did. They care how it felt and what it meant. Think about your last 3 conversations. Did you tell stories? Or did you just deliver data? Most of us are fact reporters. We need to become storytellers. The power of strategic silence. Here's a technique 99% of people never use. Strategic silence. You don't need to fill every moment. Silence makes people uncomfortable. And that discomfort makes them open up. You ask someone how they're doing. They say, "I'm fine." Instead of moving on, wait 3 seconds. They'll often continue, "Actually, it's been a rough week." Silence gives weight to your words, too. A pause shows you're thinking. It signals importance. People pay attention. Make people feel understood. Another huge key, validation. When someone shares something personal, a dream, a fear, a struggle, don't change the subject. Reflect it. So you felt stuck, and that pushed you to make a change. 2 things happen instantly. It proves you were listening. It makes them feel understood. Feeling understood is rare, and rare things are memorable. Ask follow-up questions. How did that feel? What made you decide that? What happened next? Curiosity is attractive. People love talking to someone who's genuinely curious about their world. How to escape small talk hell. Everyone hates small talk, but it's necessary. The trick is not living there. Small talk is the doorway, not the room. How's work? Fine. Dead end. So go specific. What's been the most challenging part of work lately? Or, what project are you working on that actually excites you? Generic questions produce generic answers. Specific curiosity creates depth. Bad communicators make conversations about themselves. Good communicators make other people feel fascinating. The secret I promised you. Everything I've said works, but only if one thing is true. This is the secret I promised you at the start. You must trust yourself, not fake confidence. Real trust. The kind where you believe your thoughts matter and your voice has weight. Because if you don't, every word you say will feel weak. You'll second-guess everything. You'll shrink under pressure. You'll apologize for existing. People are drawn to confidence, not arrogance. Confidence is simply knowing you have something to offer. It's having opinions and not being scared of disagreement. When you trust yourself, conversations stop being performances. They become natural. The one technique that changes everything. Here's the technique that changed my life. It's simple and almost no one does it. Spend time alone. Real alone. No scrolling, no videos, no noise. Just you and your own thoughts. You cannot communicate well if you do not know yourself. You have to know what you value, what you believe, what fires you up, what pisses you off, and what makes you feel alive. People avoid this. So when they talk, they recycle opinions from the internet. No depth, no originality. But when you know yourself, you become magnetic. Your words carry weight. Your questions are better because you've asked them of yourself. You listen better because you've learned to listen internally first. You stop chasing approval because you already approved of yourself. That's the foundation everything rests on. You can learn every communication trick on earth, but if you're speaking from insecurity, people will feel it and drift away. When you speak from self-knowledge and self-trust, conversations flow. People seek you out. They want to be around you. That's the real secret. Communication doesn't start when you open your mouth. It starts in silence, when it's just you and your thoughts. That's where you find your voice. That's where you learn to trust it. Thanks for watching, and until next time.